So we are halfway through the month of July, and it is time to take a look at how the portfolio has performed so far when it comes to the dividends. So let us take a look at this, guys, right now. For starters, we got here the net valuation and net contributions, and so far from July 1st to July 15th, we got $2,257.81. Overall, we can see that I haven't really done much when it comes to net contributions. I don't think I've actually invested at all. I think I've invested a little bit here and there, but I haven't really invested much. It's solely been valuation alone. And so far in 15 days, the portfolio has gained around $2,257. Now, if we take a look at this in contrast with the other three indices, we got the S&P, NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones. We can see that my portfolio was actually outperforming all three up until recently. It was outperforming up until July 14th, where we can see that after that, it did go down. And unfortunately, right now, the NASDAQ is beating my portfolio. The NASDAQ up 1.53%, the S&P up 0.67%, and the Dow Jones down 0.12%, where my portfolio is currently sitting at positive 1.03%. Now, when it comes to the overall buys and selling of the portfolio, I actually sold two companies, believe it or not. Yes, I actually did sell two companies, and you guys can see this right here. I sold my Rio Tinto position. I only had about 5 shares, and it really wasn't bringing in a lot of dividends to begin with, so I sold all my 5 shares for a price of $58.45, and I do believe that this was a positive. I do believe that I did gain a little bit of this, capital gains, I mean. So total, I got around $292.29 for that sell. Then also on the 9th, I sold my Procter & Gamble. Yes, I did sell my Procter & Gamble. It's a company I really, really do like. Don't get me wrong on that. But again, with 3 shares, and I think it was up like $100 or something like that, like $200. With 3 shares, guys, I'm like, you know what? This is not really that big of a deal for me. Again, the dividends aren't that massive to begin with. So I sold it for $471.15 as a total price. And with this, I actually bought some more QQQI. I bought 13 shares on the 9th, and these 13 shares were a total of $679.32. Now let us take a look at the dividends, the part that I'm fairly certain all of you guys would love to see. And so far, we are at $8,976.82 in estimated income for 2025, which is a monthly average of around $748.07. If we take a look at July, we can see that most of the dividends have already been paid out. In fact, total received dividends is $623.84, remaining $54.84. And if we take a look at what comprises of the $600, here are the dividends that I got paid out. And I gotta be honest, there's a decent amount here. For starters, on the 1st, we got Nike. I still own Nike, guys. I bought Nike at around, $76, and I'm about to go positive on them, but currently they are paying me $40 in dividends every single quarter. Then we got Coca-Cola also paying out on the 1st. Coca-Cola paid out $4.59, a company that I've actually been thinking about getting rid of too. However, I bought it at such a great price. I really don't want to get rid of Coca-Cola, but they did pay me $4.59. Now the big one, because this one, guys, JEPQ, this I bought with my $30,000. Remember when I made that sell of NVIDIA and AVGO and I got a total returns of around $31,000 or so, and I put it all into JEPQ? Well, the ex-dividend date for JEPQ hit after that $30,000, and now the total amount for JEPQ every single month, assuming that the distribution remains the same, it is a whopping $336.03. That's every single month. Absolutely crazy. Now, if I would have put this into QQQI, this would have been a lot more, because QQQI has a higher dividend yield, much more than that of JEPQ. But nonetheless, though, $336 monthly is absolutely bonkers. The next company would be Merck, which paid out on the 8th, and Merck paid $42.12. Then we got a big dividend as well in the form of Vici Properties, non-qualified dividends, but still similar to that of JEPQ. Vici paid out a whopping $104.23, and the last company that paid out, which just paid out on the 15th, was Realty Income, which paid $86.09. Again, all for a total of $613.06. Which, for all of those of you who are Hawkeye, are probably looking like, wait a minute, that's a little bit different than what you showed us originally in your investment income. Yeah, I don't know why this is the case. I think the transactions tab hasn't fully put in Realty Incomes yet. I'm not fairly certain that there's something going on here, but roughly it is around $623 minus $10 apparently. Don't really know where that's coming from, but it is what it is. I'm going to trust this one more. I'm going to say $623.84. Now, with that said, let's take a look at the next 12 months to see how much these numbers change, because it is massive. In fact, looking at the next 12 months, guys, the dividend shoots up massively. For starters, the estimated income goes from about $9,000 to $11,056. Absolutely bonkers. And again, this was because of QQQI as well as JEPQ. Remember, for 2025, months have already passed that I can't go back, and the dividends from JEPQ are going to apply to, January to June, right? Unfortunately, that's not how that works. But looking at the next 12 months, this is technically the real dividend, because let's face it, the more I buy, the more dividends I'm going to get paid out anyway. So it's not really real, but it's real with an asterisk. So just so you guys know, but it does go up to $11,056 with a monthly average of a whopping $921.34. And if we actually take a look at August of 2025, we can see $691.22 estimated for dividends paying out. Massive. However, the big one here would be September. Basically, your March, June, September, and December, the end of the quarter, is when most companies pay out. And because of QQQI and because of JEPQ, the new September dividend for 2025 is estimated to be a whopping $1,386.53 with a penny in interest. Again, that interest don't really count it, but $1,386, basically $1,400. And my portfolio is basically $400 away from covering my rent. My rent is $1,800 a month, $1,800 plus, but I'm just going to say it at $1,800. $1,800 a month. My portfolio is $400 away from covering my rent for the months of March, June, September, and December. And when that happens, that's going to be a massive milestone when it comes to the portfolio. Absolutely crazy. And I can't wait for this month. And hopefully we continue to have another dip in the markets, because if markets dip, that means that my dollars that I put into the market buy a lot more. The dividends go up on companies. JEPQ will have a much higher dividend, dividend yield, QQQI will have a much higher dividend yield as well, and in general it'll just be tremendous. I really do hope that happens. As you guys know here, we preach, I guess you could say, we like market dips. We like seeing red days. We love it when tariffs just cause all the havoc in the markets, because it just means better buying opportunity, right? It really does. It really does. So I really am hoping that this does happen, because if I can get this monthly average to $1,000 by the end of the year, that it would be another massive milestone. I really am excited to see when that will occur, because it's very close to happening. Very close. So that pretty much does it for this video. I know, a kind of short video, but it's just an update as to the month so far, the month for July when it comes to the portfolio performance. I really do hope that you guys appreciate these videos, because honestly, this is really what I invest for. Yes, talking about news is great. When talking about discounted free cash flows and like seeing when to buy a company, that's good too. But really, my investing strategy is passive income through dividends. That really is it. And I've actually have changed my mind a lot. I've grown a lot as well since I first started 5 years ago. So I really am glad that all of you who watch all of our content, or at least majority of our content, appreciate these kinds of videos, because this is really what I teach. Because at the end of the day, dividends, passive income, investment income is significantly better than active income. And this is something that we like to teach here. So make sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really does help with the algorithm on YouTube as well as Rumble. Make sure to follow us on X at Fatal Investing. And of course, if you like, join us on the Discord. The link to that is in the description below. So with that said, peace out, and we will see you all next time.